Hello guys, welcome to Learn English Easily YouTube channel. I hope you guys are all doing well and great. In this video we're going to talk about two pairs of confusing words. We are going to continue this series. We are going to talk about some more confusing words in English language. This is the first video of this series. So in this video we're going to talk about two pairs of confusing English words. The first pair which we want to talk about are end and finish. When to use end and when to use finish. The good point is that you can use both of them in most of the cases. Most of the cases it's possible to use both of them interchangeably, no problem. Either you go with end or you go with finish. That's completely up to you. Example, the show ends at 10 o'clock. I can also say the show finishes at 10 o'clock. Both are completely okay. Another example, if I say like the class ends at 4 o'clock, it's okay. The same case if I say the class finishes at 4 o'clock is also okay, no problem at all. Now let's get to the tricky part. When can I only use end and when can I only use finish? In which cases they are no more interchangeable. The first one is finish because it's simpler, so let's go with that one. We can only use finish when we are talking about completion of any activity, something that we are doing. So when you want to talk about completion of any activity, anything that you are doing, you can only go with finish. You cannot say I ended it. Example, she never finishes projects on time. She never completes those things, the things that she does. She never completes them on time. Or you can say, have you finished reading that book? The thing that you are doing, that reading, that activity, are you done with it or not? Is it completed or not? Have you finished reading that book? Or I normally finish dishes at suppose 9:30 p.m. So I do it that time. I complete it that time. In this kind of cases, I can only use finish. It's not possible for me to go with end in this kind of situation. Now let's get to the cases where I can use end, but I cannot use finish in these cases. So what are those cases? First, when we want to talk about bringing something to a close, when we want to close something, when we want to bring it to that scenario, to that position, we use the word end. For example, I say that I want to end this contract. I want to bring it to a close. Or suppose someone asks you, how should I end a formal speech? How should I bring it to a close? This is the first place where you can only use end. I cannot say, for example, how should I finish a speech, a formal speech, for example. The second place where I can only go with end, it's not possible to go with finish. It's when I'm talking about shaping the end of something. I'm making the end of something, the final of something. For example, the movie ended after she returned to her family. That's the way that this incident of returning to her family, it shaped the end of that movie. Or for example, the ceremony ended after honoring the, suppose, human rights activists. That honoring, that part, it ended, it shaped the end of that ceremony. So these are two places where you can only use and. We also have third place where again we can only go with and. It's not possible to use finish in this case as well. And that is when we talk about the physical things, physical characteristics. For example, I can say like this that that is the end of this house or this building. Now I cannot say that that is the finish of this building. It's not possible. When I want to talk about something physical, physical shape of something, then I can only go with end. Another example, the end of this road is narrower than the start. I'm talking about the shape of this road, that this road is first wide and then it gets narrow. So here again I can only go with end. I cannot say the finish of the road is like that. Or the road ends narrower than it starts. Same case goes with, for example, if you talk something about grammar in English grammar, so I can say the nouns that end in s take es to become plural. The noun that ends in s, because it's again the shape of that, the physical shape of that. So I can only use end in this kind of situation. I can say that the nouns that finishes in s, it's not possible to use like that. So these are two words, end and finish. I hope it became clear for you guys. Now let's get to our second pair of the words. The second pair of the words are especially with e, and again especially but without e. So one we have with e and one we have without e. We got two especially. Now again, like end and finish, in most of the cases they are interchangeable. I can say especially with e, I can say especially without e. As an example, I didn't find that movie especially interesting. I didn't find that movie especially interesting. I can say especially with e, I can say especially without e. Both are completely okay, no problem at all. We have a lot of cases like this. But again, we have some cases where I can only use especially with e, and places where I can only use especially without e. First, let's go especially with e. When I use especially with e, it normally means above all, higher than other things. Let's have example. When I had the car accident, all of my friends helped me. When I had an accident last month, all my friends helped me. For example, let's have a name. I can say like Mushtaq, especially with e, stayed at the hospital 2 consecutive nights. Here I'm saying that it is above all, higher than other things, than my other friends. Another example, they eat different vegetables, especially spinach. Above all, higher than that, more than anything else, spinach. The second meaning of especially with e is particularly. Particularly this thing, or this person, this place, doesn't matter. So particularly, basically, especially with e also means particularly. For example, I say that they play soccer a lot or often, especially on Wednesdays. So particularly on Wednesdays, it's like that. Second thing that about especially with e we have to keep in mind is that we use especially with e when we are using it before a preposition or conjunction. Means after that, if you have preposition or conjunction, you cannot use especially without E, that only S1 that starts with S. It's not possible to use that with, what do you call it, with before preposition or conjunctions. It's a very general rule, though it has exceptions, but the general rule is this. Example, let's take examples for this with this ES. They travel a lot, especially ES, especially in summer. So I have in, which is preposition. Before that I go what? With? I go with, especially with E. Another one, let's have a conjunction. He shakes his feet, especially when he is nervous. When, here is subordinating conjunction. So before that I have used again especially with ES. So these are the places where I can only go with, especially with ES. Now the place where I can go with, especially without E. S-P-E-C-I-A-L-L-Y, no E. Especially, it means when something is for a particular or for intended purpose or person or thing. Example, this dish is especially prepared for the guests. The intention of the person who prepared it was to prepare it for the guests. With a particular intention it is made. Or I can also say like this, that this flower is especially for you. Now, in this sentence, when I say this flower is especially for you, I have for, which is a preposition. So generally we have to use ES, but we can use without E as well. What is the difference in meaning? If I say this flower is especially for you with E, it means I have bought it particularly for you. I have not done anything, I have not made it, I just bought it, but it is particularly for you. But if I say that this flower is especially for you with S, without E, no E, in this case it means that I have made it with this intention, with this purpose to give it to you. So without E is much better to be used in this case. It gives that with particular intention for you, it has been prepared or it has been made. So these are some minor, tiny differences between both especiallys. I hope it has helped you to get the idea clearer, and these two pairs of confusing words have become clearer to you guys. If you had any question again or any confusing example where you are not quite sure about it, comment it. I'll surely be more than happy to answer to that and to get deeper to this kind of words. See you in the next video of Learn English Easily YouTube channel. Take care.